How you doing? Ken Kinter again, and this is another multi-day one. This is day 46 through 48 of my journey through leukemia. I did not give updates, but not for the reasons that I usually hold off, and that um, usually it's because nothing happened and it's a little boring. But that wasn't the case. Um, let's see, it would have been um, Saturday night into Sunday. I had the second occurrence of bone pain. And as I mentioned before, it's an ache inside the bones, particularly the long bones. Pretty common side effect of chemotherapy. I've only had one day of it before. More frightening than painful, but you can't do anything. You just can't put your legs anywhere. There's no comfortable position. And both times it's hit me days after chemo, and it's hit me at night when I've been trying to go to bed, and there's just no way to sleep. So Paige was at a horse conference or a horse show. So she was away. She stayed away overnight. And so I was, of course, trying to be as independent as possible and as out of her hair as possible. And overnight, that bone pain, which again, on a scale of 1 to 10 was probably a 3, just enough of a nuisance to keep you awake. All of a sudden, it went right to my back where I'd had a really bad lumbar puncture a couple days before. And that pain went to an 8. There was no way to sit, lay down. I went from position to position. I think I slept 2 hours maybe. There was just nowhere to lay. And I just couldn't get through the day. I mean, I was at the point where I had the front door unlocked. So if I had to call first aid, they could just come in the house. But of course, you want a guy in chemo going to the local emergency room saying, oh, by the way, I'm on all these medications and all this kind of stuff. Or do I go 40 minutes to Temple Fox Chase and, deal with that, knowing that I can't sit for very long. So not a pleasant set of circumstances. I did let Paige know, because if I didn't, she would kill me. So that was an easy decision to make. And I also, at her request, called the doctor that was on call at Temple Fox Chase. And he gave me some great advice. We just started with the Tylenol, and we had a mat here that vibrates and does heat. And I mean, I had a ride ready to the hospital. I was going to lay in a car or sit in a car or just ride in the back seat or whatever. And fortunately, the Tylenol, the heat, and the massager thing, which if you're going through this, get one of those damn things. There's a mat you can kind of lay on your bed so that you can lay on it shoulder to knee, and you can do lumbar, shoulder, and all that. I forgot what the name of the company is, Breakstone, Blackstone, something like that. They have it, Brookstone. So that I was on that, and I could feel my back go from spasm to locked to resting on the bed, and then I started to fall asleep. So I texted everybody and said, look, this is working. I'm going to sleep. I got more sleep on the mat that day than I did the whole night. So that was really scary. Paige was coming home that evening anyway. I probably made her hustle back quicker, but she at least got through the whole thing. By the time she got back, I'm going to say okay. I'll say the pain was like a 2, and I could move and I could do things, but I stayed with the Tylenol and mat the rest of the night just so it wouldn't come back. So that was the day I was planning on doing all sorts of great computer work. She was going to be gone, and I didn't do a blessed thing all day except nurse my back, which definitely needed to happen. So then we get to Monday, and the back is better. Not like it didn't happen, but it was a ghost of its former self. Still did a couple Tylenol, still did a mat, and it still nursed it. But this was more like the day of rest. And we even went out and sat at an outside bar somewhere. No, I'm not drinking, but just sitting at a bar away from people, watching TV, just watching hockey playoffs on TV. Just normal stuff, just being able to act normal, even if I don't have a beer in front of me, that's still normal enough. And just being outside, getting the breeze and all that kind of stuff. It was really nice. And I think also a nice rest for Paige too, because she had been through a whole lot that day between trailering a horse and drama with assorted horse people, which I will leave out of this. She can do a video about that. Although I'd love to talk about it. but no. So then that day went okay. And I think I over caffeine, so I didn't sleep, but it wasn't because of the back. I think I was just wired and busy brained and all that stuff. So today, Tuesday, was a clinic day. A lot of good news. In fact, I got my blood work right here. My blood work is the best it's been since I was initially diagnosed in terms of my white blood cells and my absolute neutrophil count. Platelets still suck, but they seem to come along last. But it's the best blood work I've had in 2 months. I still feel a little washed out, and they gave me some blood because the hemoglobin, when you don't have an intact hemoglobin, you just feel wiped out all the time. So they did that. So that was all good news. And they seem very happy with the way things are going. In fact, they suggested something, and that is they are suggesting that I move suggested, we had discussed it and did it. Originally, I was supposed to get the second bone marrow biopsy on the 19th or the 22nd or something like that. And they suggested moving it up to Friday, as in 3 days from now, to get the news on, did chemo work, looking for the minimally resistant diseases, which if I test positive for that, then I'm looking at a transplant and not chemo. Theoretically, I could go into maintenance, but it's probably going to be cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4. We scheduled cycle 2 anyway. And I'd forgotten that all the cycles require an inpatient stay for part of it. Because I was already admitted when they started it, I kind of blanked on that. So I had said previously that the A cycles, 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A, were outpatient, and the Bs were inpatient. That is not accurate. The As and Bs both have an inpatient component. So that means bone marrow biopsy number 2 on Friday, which I'm nervous about because we're doing it in the clinic instead of inpatient, and they're using different medication. It went very smooth the first time, and I'm kind of a creature of habit. But you know what? These people are professionals, so they know. So I'm putting my faith in them. My life is in their hands already. And then based on that, it'll take a week to get those results. And then when those results come in, presumably the 16th, then that sets me up for the next week for the next admission and the next round of chemo. So much for a week or two of rest, right? So I've probably given some very bad information out in these earlier videos, and I apologize for that because I'm sharing it as I get it. And my situation is not going to be the same as everybody else's. And what happens with my treatment is largely a result of my blood work and also what they can schedule at the facility. So my situation is not going to be the same as everybody else's. So I hope it's useful as a model, but also the fact that things can change and move around, that's part of this deal for everybody. So the other part of it was my birthday's at the end of this month, and I was really hoping for a reprieve from all of this stuff. And that is not going to happen. My birthday is going to be right at the end of this round of chemo. I will be off my birthday just so I can have a day of not doing any of this stuff, but I won't be able to go away or do anything like that. So a little bummed about that, but keeping the train running, that's the whole thing, is just to keep this going. I don't think there's any way through it but through it. So let's just go. It is my birthday, but I'm fighting for future birthdays. My wife PJ had a very funny idea. She's making a list of all the stuff we've missed because of this, and it's like a makeup list. So I have a sneaky feeling my birthday just made that list. I'm planning on celebrating it this summer at some point anyway, or even the fall when I'm in better health. But and I'll do something. I'm not going to do nothing on my birthday, but definitely not the birthday I was planning on. But you got to be here to have a birthday, so that's the plan. So that's what's going on with that. So I was very stressed about this test coming because now it's moved up and it's like right in my face. And let's not forget, the last time I had one of these tests, I tested positive, and that was how I found out about the diagnosis of having leukemia. So me and these tests I don't like these tests as it is. I don't like what the test actually is, which involves them boring into your hip twice, taking some blood the first time and taking some bone the second time. But I've gone through it before, lived through it. And when I had it done before, I was really, really sick and really, really out of it and really, really weak. I'm coming in a lot better than I was that first time. So I hope my pain threshold and my ability to withstand all this stuff is better. Let's see. I think that is probably most of it. I'm still making decisions about my future. I had a meeting with my supervisors at work because, you know, I am accountable for my time. So I have to give an accounting for the days I've actually worked since I started being sick and how many days I've taken off for being sick. And I need to work all that out. So there's a bit of an HR thing going on there. And I'm also hoping that even with the inpatient stays, I'm hoping to make a modified work schedule. I've been jumping and dancing around the days, and I think I just need to use my days off for rest and recuperation, but also to get some computer time in, to get some work time in. So I have to, they've been more than reasonable with me. So I need to sort all that out. So that's something else that's going on this week. And having an intact immune system is going to let me run some errands and do some things that I need to do. There's a lot of things I've been back burnering. When you have a white blood cell count of 0.2 or 0.5, you don't get out that much. You know, and your absolute neutrophils are 0.1 and 0.0. You try to stay in the house, or at least I should stay in the house. So now the numbers are intact, and this means I need to go. I need to get things done, get the things done I can do, because there's no guarantee this lasts. I can go on Friday and these numbers could be blown up again, or they could be better. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. Getting current with work, surprise side effects. I mean, I could wake up tomorrow and have this back thing going on again. I mean, that's just part of the novelty of this. The side effects kind of come out of nowhere and can knock you on your ass. The interesting thing, the other thing the doctor told me was that he said the bone pain is actually the bone marrow firing up again. He said, so in a weird way, the bone pain is a good thing. And the numbers bore that out today. I was going to be really disappointed if I went through all that bone pain and then my numbers were garbage. I was like, oh, I want to get something good out of this. So the next 2 days are days off, days of rest. They may be combined or whatever. And then Friday is the big day. And my mission for the next 2 days is to get myself in the best mental space and physical space so that when I walk in there Friday, I'm ready to go. They can put as much of a whooping on me as they want. Eventually they have to stop whooping me and I walk out of there or get rolled out of there and get in a car, either way. And, you know, then it'll take a week to get that news. So I'll be sweating Friday for the actual procedure. And then when I'm done sweating Friday for the actual procedure, I will begin sweating the results. And there's nothing that can be done about that to speed that up. So lots of meditation practice for me and staying non-attached and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So it feels like the most important test of my life coming up. Feels like that. And we'll see if we'll see how it turns out. And we'll see if I still feel that way down the road. So anyway, as of now, I'm going to bed. You all have a wonderful one. I hope this finds you in good health. And I'll talk to you Friday latest. Peace out.